Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm just thinking I'm gonna make this vlog English and Tagalog combination so that the rest of my other viewers will be able to relate and understand my video, because there were some requests already coming through in my account that are non-Filipino viewers and would like to understand my videos and are really interested. However, since I'm usually uploading Tagalog videos, so I figured I will try my best to speak in English on this part of this video. So, okay. So, in Tagalog, madami akong nakukuhang mga request na ang gusto nila magsalita ako sa wikang English para maintindihan nila yung mga sinasabi ko sa mga videos ko. Kasi hindi nila naiintindihan kasi hindi naman sila Tagalog speaking. Okay? So this video is all about the process of leasing or renting a house here in New Zealand, in particular Auckland. Okay, so I'm not very familiar with the rest of all other areas in New Zealand, but since I am and my family lives here in Auckland where we got our accommodation, so I will base my experience, our experience in Auckland process. Okay, so first of all, in order for you to be able to start the house hunting here in New Zealand, you should be having your mobile number here in New Zealand. That's the first requirement. Why? Because you need to register an account at trademe.com where you will register all your personal information in the website that we will be using. So this is the website for trademe.co.nz where you can find different things, jobs, properties, cars, marketplace, services, property for sale, property for rent. So you click that property. Now, to be able to start using this website, you have to register. Click that personal use and put on your details such as your email address, password, confirm password, username, country, click New Zealand. And if you click that next page, it will lead you to the page where it will request for your mobile numbers and other details here in New Zealand. So once you have already registered, confirm it in your email address, your account, then you can log in and start using the app. So this is how it looks on your account details. Go to the home page and click that real estate icon, and it will lead you to properties for sale and properties for rent. In here, you'll be able to have a browse of what's in the market for sale, what's in the market for rent, and you can put filters such as locations in New Zealand, like for instance Auckland, you put Auckland, and then you can also put specification like how many bedrooms maximum you want. Let's say 2 bedrooms you want, and then bathrooms, property type, and click search. And you can also refine your search and place, for example, you want to put a lowest price to highest, and so you can have a browse here and have an idea how much is in the market for those properties for rent. See here, it says $195 per week. It doesn't mean that the house is $195 per week. That means it's a shared accommodation. It says here 5 bedrooms, so that means it's a shared accommodation. That means 1 bedroom is $195 per week. So the rest is all up to you to see, and you can just have a browse of what's available in the market. Even if you don't register, actually, you can have a browse of this website to have an idea what's in store in the market. And then when you open the advertisement, the listing, you'll be able to see here when it's gonna be available, and what's in store in the area, how many tenants maximum can be occupying, and if there are pets allowed. And then also it will tell you how much would be the down payment or bond for the leasing for rent. And then yeah, so these are the requirements. And there is also an option here, like for the parking, where you'll be able to see those details, if they're available, if there's a parking available or no parking available. Usually on apartments they don't. And then you can also click that location for you to be able to identify the proximity of the location towards your work, if you already have a work upon arriving here. And then also the schools where you can have a browse if that particular accommodation is close to the school that you are heading for. And yeah, once you have chosen an accommodation that you want to list, click book a viewing, and then you'll get a notification via SMS and via email of your confirmed appointment for the viewing time and date. So by this time, you already know how to use the website, how to use that Trade Me Up, how to be able to book a viewing of the house that you're interested to list. Next step is that you're gonna receive a confirmation in your mobile, an SMS, confirming your booking. Okay? Take note that you do not actually choose your own preferred timing or date for viewing. On most cases, the landlord's representative is gonna publish only or reply to you once you book that viewing, or show you only the timings available for viewing. You cannot request a particular time that suits your availability, unless of course that choice of time and date is among the particular choices in the listing. Okay, so in Tagalog, hindi ikaw ang mamimili ng appointment mo. Okay? So, manggagaling yon sa landlord's representative. It's either ire-reply yon sa SMS kung ano yung available viewing times, or i-communicate yun through the listing in itself, available time only of viewing. Okay? So, hindi ikaw ang mamimili ng gusto mong appointment ng pag-view ng bahay. Bakit? This is the surprising part of the story, of the process. The viewing times are not just particularly set for you exclusively. No. It can be 5 couples or 5 families, or 10 couples, 10 families. It's not going to be just you. There are a lot of individuals or couples or families who are going to be with you during the viewing of the houses, of that particular house. You have to be on time, first of all. Come on time, like at least 5 minutes on time. Do not come earlier than that, because you won't be able to open the house or knock on the door and say that I'm early, can you please start viewing? No, you cannot. You have to be right exact on time. If the viewing time is at 2 o'clock p.m., viewing time is at 2 o'clock p.m. Hindi ka pwedeng late ng 5 minutes, hindi ka pwedeng late ng 10 minutes. No, 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 no. Whatever appointment has been given and confirmed with you, that's the only time that you can enter the premise, that you will be able to have the opportunity to see the house. So, ibig sabihin nun, kung late ka, wala ka ng chance makikita yung bahay. Okay? Unless, of course, you will have another communication with the landlord's representative asking if there are another slots available the following day. So, the landlord's representative usually will be the one to open the house, welcome the guests, and welcome the applicants, welcome the inquiries, okay? So, you will be the one to check the whole house, like just to walk inside the house, and then if you have other questions to the landlord's representative, you can just approach him and ask these questions, okay? So, during the viewing of the house, okay, all you can do is, if you're really interested with the house, like prior to coming to your appointment, if you have decided already that you really like that house and you want to be able to have the edge in getting the deal, okay? So you have to impress the landlord's representative. What do I mean by impress? You have to look decent when you come at the appointment, be on time, and look professional. If you are a family, bring your kids with you and be decent looking when you come to the house, okay? After the viewing, okay, the landlord's representative is gonna shortlist among those individuals or families or couples who viewed the house, okay? So based on those shortlistings, the landlord's representative will recommend those to the owner or landlord of the house. You will be required to log into another website, okay, which is, it's not trademe.com. It's another website where you will be uploading your personal documentations. What are the personal documentations? That includes your salary slips of your current employment, and number 2, your current or previous tenancy contract copy here in New Zealand, okay? Number 3 is your character references. The chances are, if you are a newcomer here in New Zealand and of course you do not have a job yet upon arrival, kung wala ka pang trabaho upon arrival, of course, dito sa New Zealand, wala kang payslip na maipipresent, wala kang tenancy contract na maipipresent. You don't have anything. Apart, of course, from character references, that if, of course, you have friends here, but if you don't have friends here, who are the character references that you can provide? Nobody. So it's like your chances are very slim in being able to get that house. Not because I have to put this also as a note, as one of the highlight note. Not because you have a job here, not because you have pay slips, doesn't mean that you get the house approval for the list. No, because the landlord or the owner of the house will check your salary slips if you are capable of paying the rent on a weekly basis. So, syempre, i-consider yan kung magkaning sahod mo, kakayanin ba ng sahod mo yan to pay on a weekly basis. Take note, guys, the payment of the rent here in New Zealand is on a weekly basis. It's not on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis. Salaries here in New Zealand are usually weekly or every 2 weeks. Okay? So, not because you have a job or you have pay slips doesn't mean you'll be able to get the house approval. No. You have to be able to show the owner of the house or the landlord that you're capable of paying on time and capable of paying based on your salary. Now the question is, you don't have a job here in New Zealand. You also do not have pay slips here in New Zealand. Okay, and then you don't have also a tenancy contract here in New Zealand. So our case was very different. I guess it's an exceptional case because we are very blessed that my husband had an office mate before who has finally recommended, like an agency. It's not really an agency, it's a real estate company. It's not that big. It's a small Chinese real estate company here in Auckland, who was able to accept one of newcomers here in New Zealand, and was able to get a house approval even without a job yet, even without the tenancy contract history yet here in New Zealand. So, by the way, guys, I just want to also mention this. During our journey of looking for a house, there came a point that we almost gave up because you would book houses like 3-4 houses on different locations, and we don't even know Auckland, and it's traffic everywhere. That I meant, if you are a regular viewer of my vlogs, you will know that there is always severe traffic here in Auckland, and it's challenging to go on different locations here in Auckland just to be able to find the house. And the sad thing about that is you keep on searching, you keep on viewing the houses when you've got no absolute confidence and assurance that you will really get the house, because you don't have anything with you that can prove your capability to pay and your capability to be a decent tenant here in New Zealand. You don't have a record. And so we're very blessed when that recommendation from my husband's friend came through. And then we contacted the real estate company, and it so happened that at the time they still have like 4 available houses. But guys, the houses were not, they were not really for starters, I guess, because the houses were like 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms. There are no average sizes in that real estate office. And the house that we got is 4 bedroom. Okay, even though we don't need as much space, but we're very blessed, and God is good that that we still got this house despite the rate is it's not cheap. Okay, so how did we get the house lease approval? When you're gonna upload the documents for, once you get shortlisted, okay, for one of the possible tenants of the house, you'll be required to upload not only yours but also your husband's, your spouse documentations, meaning both of your passport copies, And then, yung tenancy contract ninyo has to be specifying both of your names, you and your spouse name, and then, of course, salary slips of you and your spouse. So it's not only document coming from you. If you are a family, or if you are a couple going to live in that house, you have to present the documents of the people who are going to live exactly in that house. So kung mag-isa lang akong magre-rent, I will present my documents alone. Pero if family, kailangan family documents rin. And then you can just mention the name of your children in the application. So how did you get the approval despite that we don't have any record here in New Zealand as previous tenants? Okay, so we had to present a bank statement separately, from me under my name and from my husband under his name. So that was the only choice left of us to be able to get the house. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the list for approval. We almost like lost hope. Like every single day, we go into different places here in Auckland, and sometimes one is north, one is south, one is west, one is like ang dami naming lugar na napuntahan in a span of few days lang of upon arriving here in New Zealand, in Auckland, because we were so desperate to find a home. And even during the time, as I mentioned, that we kept on booking houses for viewing, although we didn't have the assurance that we're gonna get approval, without hope at all that you're gonna win the battle. It felt like that. Kasi alam mo naman sa sarili mo na ang i-require pa rin once na na-shortlist ka, i-require pa rin same exact requirements. Okay? And so, the friend that I mentioned to you and her boyfriend during the time wanted to help us in ways that they can. Ang ginawa nila was, nag-check rin sila ng advertisements, and even on Facebook Marketplace, they will also search for some. And then there is one of the mornings na sinamahan kami while he was on duty. Yung boyfriend niya, sinamahan niya kami na pumunta dun sa isang pinapaupahan na house. And like when we saw the house, like the landlord was willing to share the tenancy with us. It looked like how do you call it? It's a very old apartment motel looking house that looks so strange and odd, because in order for you to be able to go to the kitchen, you have to go outside your main door, and like you go through the parking for you to be able to go to another house to share the kitchen. And the house is so stinky, and I said no. And like at that moment, I was already decided, no, there's no way I'm gonna put my children here. I told my husband, if we had to stay in the hotel until we'll be able to sort out things, until we'll be able to figure it out, how we'll be able to get a house for approval, then we'll do that. I'm not willing to put my children in this environment. And we saw like around 3 or 4 with the same environment. And hindi ko alam. I'm not comfortable to put my children in those type of environment. Although the landlords were, like, they were willing to accommodate. It's sort of like sharing accommodation. Because my friend was actually advising us that since you're a newcomer here and, like, it's indefinite period of time when you will be able to get a house, why not just entertain the idea of sharing an accommodation, and then once you get a job and be able to get your pay slips, and that's the time that you can just start leasing your own house. Pero at the back of my mind, I was thinking about my children, like sharing a toilet with other people, sharing kitchen with other people where other strangers could see my children, could, like, could I'm not comfortable with the idea. And so, which is why we really had to find the means to be able to get our own place, because we were not willing to go for a shared accommodation. Maybe if you're a couple or without children, or you're single, then it's all right for you to have shared accommodation. And if you really are comfortable with having shared accommodation, even if you have children with you, then of course it's your prerogative, it's your choice. And if you're comfortable with that, why not? But it's just that it was our choice not to do that. Okay? So, newcomers here in New Zealand would usually and typically do that. Go for sharing accommodation. Kasi nga, wala namang means talaga na makakuha ka ng own accommodation mo for lease without your salary certificates or salary pay slips, without your history of rental records here in New Zealand. And so, even our friends, when they tried to, like, to put the rental into their names, and then will be the one to, like, to occupy the accommodation, it doesn't work like that. Like, for example, my friend would put the accommodation under his name or her name, and then will be the one to occupy the house. We will live in that house. No, it doesn't work like that. Kasi kung sino yung nag-register ng tenancy, yun yung dapat tumira sa bahay. And there are checking in the houses, in the accommodations, every quarter. And they will find out if you're not the one actually living in the house. And the next risk is that in case, like, you'll be able to hide it from the landlord or from the owner of the house, that you're not really the one living in that house, and something happened. For example, nagkaroon ng problem dun sa accommodation, and because it was under your name, then you're liable. You'll be the one to get complaints. You'll be the one to be sued. Kasi uso dito yung demanda, yung mga ganyan. So, even during handover of the house, you'll have the checking physically of the house. Both of you and the landlord's representative are gonna take photos and videos of the house to be able to prove that these are the things that are that you have to consider prior to like settling down into this place. So if something happens and it's in your name, and like, you'll be the one to be responsible. You will be held liable of any issues that may arise in that apartment. Okay, so yeah, So it's a very challenging, guys. It's very challenging process in leasing a house here. As I mentioned in one of my vlogs, getting a rental house here in New Zealand is as challenging as getting a job here in New Zealand. It's like, not because you have the capability to pay, not because you have, you're a decent tenant, not because you're willing to pay, you can pay, you're a decent tenant, not because you have those qualities doesn't mean you'll be able to bag already the deal. Doesn't mean that you'll get the house. No, it's a long process. So, you have to be ready. And so, if kagaya nyo kami na wala talagang record of tenancy here in New Zealand and wala kayong employment upon arrival here, wala kayong, of course, wala kayong payslips, then you only have two choices. One is, of course, go for sharing accommodation or maybe live in an Airbnb. And last option is that you have to be ready to present your bank statement, which has to justify that you can pay the dues of the house. So usually, guys, ang payment is on a weekly basis. Electricity and water would be once a month. And then water, electricity, both of them are once a month, but they're on separate invoices. So, yeah. Internet, of course, is your own connection. That's a separate billing. That's a separate account. One more thing that I remember about leasing a house here. When the advertisement says maximum of 2 persons, maximum of 2 occupants, then that's it. You cannot have someone in addition of those 2 occupants. If it says maximum of 4 occupants, even if the house is 5 bedroom, then you can only occupy the house with 4 tenants, not beyond that, even if the house can actually occupy more people than what has been specified by the landlord or the owner of the house. So, yeah. I hope you learned something in this video. And please like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below and click that notification bell at the bottom if you want to be aware of my future vlog. And I hope to see you soon. Enjoy life. God bless you. And see you again next time. Bye!